diving into the cold, silent remains of the RMS Britannic, a Titanic sister lost to history. The once mighty hull is corroded, its identity barely visible through layers of time and salt. Some crew never made it out, their uniforms preserved in haunting stillness. Every object tells a story of sudden disaster and decades underwater. The deck is frozen in time, each detail a reminder of a ship lost to war. Among the wreckage, remnants of the ship's hospital emerge, telling of lives once saved and lost. Even everyday items, now corroded, speak of the crew's daily life aboard Britannic.
The massive propeller, frozen mid-motion, hints at the power this ship once held.
Even now, the name Britannic barely whispers through layers of rust and salt. Objects cling to the memories of those who lived and died here, each corroded artifact a solemn echo. Even the staircases, now bent and rusted, hint at the ship's internal layout. Numbers and markings, though faded, help identify each compartment of the Britannic. Many crew members remain where they fell, preserved in eerie stillness.
Even small personal items survive, corroded but telling silent stories. The ship's towering funnels now lie in ruin, testaments to the scale of the Britannic.
Time stopped the day the ship sank, leaving clocks as frozen witnesses.
Lifeboats, once lifelines, now cradle the memories of those lost.
The corridors are skeletal remnants, echoing the chaos of the sinking.
The brigand's instruments, now frozen in rust, once directed the ship's fate.
The wheel lies untouched, a silent relic of control lost to the deep. The dining hall, once lively, now frozen in eerie silence beneath the waves.
Even simple utensils tell stories of everyday life aboard the Britannic. Faded markings help piece together the ship's compartments and history.
Navigation tools, now rusted, once guided the Britannic through treacherous waters.
Portholes offer glimpses into the ship's interior, now dark and silent.
Even the officers' belongings survive, hinting at rank and duty. Weapons lie corroded and silent, echoes of a wartime past.
Even ventilation systems tell of the ship's massive engineering, now lost to the sea.
The bell, once ringing across the decks, now sits silent and corroded.
Time itself is preserved here, frozen in the hands of those lost. The engine room lies in ruin, the heart of the ship now silent beneath the waves.
Massive machinery now frozen in time, corroded by decades of salt water.
Boilers once powering the Britannic now stand as silent monuments to lost lives. Even identification numbers survive the relentless decay of the sea. The quarters hold echoes of those who once lived aboard this floating city. Even remnants of paperwork survive, corroded but revealing stories of the ship's operation.
Lifeboat davits, now frozen in corrosion, once offered hope to fleeing crew.
The upper decks lie exposed, scarred by collapse,
and the sea's relentless work. The bell, corroded but intact, whispers the ship's identity across the ages. Communication devices, now silent, once connected this ship to the world above.
The promenade deck, once bustling, now lies silent and frozen in decay. Even the leisure areas of the ship are now claimed by rust and marine life.
Every staircase tells of passageways that led to both life and tragedy.
Old charts, corroded yet readable, hint at routes once charted by the crew.
The funnels, once towering, now lie in twisted ruins beneath the waves. The bell, corroded but intact, still bears the ship's name through time. The anchor chains, once strong, now surrender to decades of corrosion and the sea's pressure. Debris from collapsed structures spreads across the seabed, a monument to disaster.
Plaques and insignias, though corroded, still identify the ship's legacy beneath the sea.
The crewers' final resting places lie undisturbed, frozen in time beneath the waves.
The collapsed smokestack lies as a rusted monument to the Britannic's immense structure.
The wheel, corroded yet intact, once guided the ship through treacherous waters.
Even the leisure areas now whisper stories of those who walked these decks.
Navigation instruments, though frozen in rust, tell of the ship's journeys long ago.
Corridors lie fractured and silent, echoing the chaos of the sinking.
The telegraph, corroded and silent, once carried messages that decided fate.
Lifeboats, now frozen in corrosion, once promised survival that never came. The upper decks reveal the scale of destruction, twisted and corroded by time.
The bell remains, a silent witness to the ship's identity beneath the waves. The crew's final resting places lie undisturbed, preserved by the cold sea.
The hull bears the scars of the sinking, twisted and corroded by decades underwater.
Portholes, fractured and corroded, once offered views of the open sea.
The deck's machinery, now frozen in rust, once played a vital role in operations.
Even instruments of precision lie corroded, yet hint at the ship's past navigation.
The ventilation systems now resemble skeletal remains, silent witnesses to the ship's interior.
Furniture frozen in decay tells of daily life aboard Britannic's decks. Lifeboats, now frozen in time, hint at desperate escapes that never came.
Upper decks, once open and busy, now lie exposed and fractured on the seabed.
The bell remains a quiet herald of the ship's identity and history.
The crew's final resting places lie undisturbed, preserved in the cold, silent depths.
Collapsed funnels lie scattered, silent reminders of the Britannic's massive frame.
The telegraph, frozen in corrosion, once controlled the ship's vital functions. Machinery now claimed by the sea hints at the ship's immense scale and activity.
Navigation instruments, though rusted, echo the precision of past voyages.
Corridors are frozen in decay, telling of sudden disaster.
Even office spaces lie corroded, preserving glimpses of the crew's routines.
The lifeboats tell stories of hope that never reach the surface.
The upper deck reveals the extent of the Britannic's decay beneath the waves.
The ship's bell remains, a silent guardian of its identity and history. The crew's final resting places lie undisturbed, preserved by the cold, silent sea. The promenade deck lies in ruins, a haunting echo of life long gone.
Even leisure areas succumb to corrosion, telling silent tales of the crew's moments of rest. Every staircase hints at pathways taken during both work and tragedy.
Old charts, frozen in corrosion, once guided Britannic's journeys across the seas.
Collapsed funnels tell of a ship's towering power, now surrendered to the sea. The ship's bell endures, silently announcing its identity through decades underwater.
The anchor chains, once mighty, now lie surrendered to corrosion and the sea.
Debris spreads across the seabed, silent monuments of a maritime disaster.
Plaques and insignias, though corroded, still carry the ship's identity through time.
The crew's resting places lie undisturbed, preserved by the cold, silent depths.
The stern bears scars of the sinking, corroded yet recognizable beneath decades of water.
Portholes remain fractured, offering eerie glimpses into the ship's interior. Engine parts lie frozen in time, corroded by decades beneath the waves.
Navigational instruments hint at the precision once required to sail the Britannic. Corridors lie fractured, silent witnesses to the chaos of the sinking.
Office spaces, now corroded, preserve glimpses of life aboard the Britannic. The lifeboats tell stories of hope that never reached the surface.
Upper decks reveal the full extent of the Britannic's decay beneath the sea.
The bell remains a quiet herald of the ship's identity beneath decades of water.
The crew's final resting places remain undisturbed, preserved by the cold, silent depths.